Well, greetings to all of you watching this special video, and we're so happy that you could join us today. My name is Karl Michael. I'm a senior pastor of Oase Church in Vienna, Austria. I have a big heart for the people of Israel and the Jewish people, especially around the world. There's 15 million right now. About 9 million living in the state of Israel and the rest around this globe. And it's, I think, also as believers in God and as Christians, our great responsibility to be with the people of Israel, with the people of God, the Jews. And I have the very special privilege today to speak to a man, with a man that I just met today, but I've heard so many great things.
It's my pleasure also.
About you. It's a great pleasure. Chaim Sharvit.
Yes.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes, that's my correct.
Chaim Sharvit. And I want you to just tell us in the beginning, what is your background? And you were born in Israel and you live in Israel.
Yeah, my connection is that I'm born in Israel. I'm Israeli tzaba, what we call.
Okay.
I was serving in the army 6 years. I was major in the Israeli army in special team, what we call Sayat Matkal. And then after that, I used to work for the government.
Yeah.
And then I am Israeli patriotic. I'm doing business and also try to support my country. One of the things that I did like a private person, I used to have a security company and I make some private investigation. I was founding, it was 96, I make investigation against two banks in Switzerland, UBS and SBC, the biggest banks, to see why and what they did with the money of the Jewish people put before the Holocaust. And I found something that the world was very, very shocked and surprised that these banks make selection with the papers of the Jewish people. Some of them they burn, some of them they keep. And actually, they did not give the money back to the survivor.
Okay.
Because of many stories. So one of the things that I found is that the banks, two banks, starting putting all the information from the people that was having account in the banks, the Jewish, in a diskette. And they select the diskette, and some of the papers, they was burning them. Yes, burning the papers, because we find the security guy that was in charge when they burning the papers. So I had a guy that was working for the bank. He was second manager of SBC, that he told me that by secret, that this is what the banks was doing, separating and putting on diskette the names and the amount of the people. And they did not want, it was a top secret in the bank, because if, let's say my grandfather was survivor and he have account in the bank, if I was calling the bank never give the right information. They always delaying you, you have to send some money, we have to check, but in technically they have just to push a button and to see if it's in the list. So this guy offered me a deal. The deal was, he said, listen, I can bring for you from UBS the diskette with 10,000 names or something, that the bank is hiding this, I can give you a copy from this, and then you do it whenever you want to do with this, but it costs money. He said it's 450,000 Swiss franc because you have to pay someone in the bank and the rest is from him. So, okay, I told him, okay, you want to meet me in Zurich, in a secret place, don't want to talk on the phone. I tell him, okay, if we want to move, I want to they give me some facts, something that I see what I can get. So he gave me 10 names by, okay, I organize the money, I organize everything by a big law firm that want to finance this. And then he had a contract also with me. And then when we want to start the process, it disappeared. He left me a message. I cannot talk with you anymore, don't call me, because they found in the bank that he was trying to take this diskette. So then I have this story in my hand. This is, so I said, what I will do with this? So I go to my people in the Israeli government, Mossad, etc. And I said, let's bomb the story in the media with all the facts that you have in the hand, the contract and what the banks do. And that's what we did. And it was in all the media in the world, the story. Then the Jewish organization and the Jewish business people started pressing the bank in Switzerland, and we took the money out from the bank, bang, 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 bang. The bank was very afraid because this was criminal what they did. They burned most of the papers. And they decided to pay a consortium $2 billion to the Jewish organization. So my part was just investigation. I was not part of the other story, how they pay and whom they pay.
You uncovered it.
Yeah, I just bumped the story.
Yes.
Yeah,
great.
With all the facts.
And the money went to the right people?
After that, I don't know, because they was going to the Jewish organization and they split it.
Okay.
I know my part. I did not know that it's going like this. My part was a story. Listen, this is what the Swiss bank did. This chemical, these are the facts. Let's boom it. And after the booming, there was the press on the banks but I sure there was stealing more.
Wow.
For example, after this interview, one guy was contacting me through the television channel and said that his grandfather had a factory, and 34, he put 54,000 Deutschmark in the bank. When he called them and asked them what's going there, they say, yes, it's something like 100,000 Swiss franc. I mean, in 60 years, 70 years, this is not correct. So there was a lot of monkey business in the banks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, good job.
Yeah, so I did it. So then Rabbi Kaminer, we was connecting each other, we know, to another person. He told me about this vision of him, this Jewish museum, the biggest in the world, so special from the Holocaust story. So I said, I will join you and help you like a presenter or to help you to collect money for this, for Jewish people and Jewish people for the museum, to build the museum. The museum already we start the construction, but we still have a long way to make it happen.
Okay, so you're working together with Rabbi Abraham Kaminer.
With Rabbi Abraham Kaminer and with Dalit Stauber.
Wow. What else? What did you do in the army and your activities? What was?
I don't think I can say everything we did, but I was in a special forces and I was serving my country and my people. And I was in many action in my life, especially against terrorists that came. Wow. There was taking hostages in school in Israel, in Malot. It was many years ago. And so most of my activities was to fight against terrorist groups that came to kill, came to rob, came to.
And you're involved now in business.
Yeah, I'm a businessman,
That's great.
I'm dealing with security company I have and other businesses.
Yes.
Global.
Let me ask you, what exactly happened on October 7th? Because many people still don't know exactly what happened.
I tell you the truth, I wake up in Haifa in 7 o'clock in the morning. And myself, I wasn't shocked because I was not believe that things like this can happen. I don't want to know what was the mistake of our government, of the field, but the damage was too much even to watch and to understand. Because these terrorists came just to kill anything. They don't care if you're Israeli, if you're young, if you're baby, women's. They was killing Thai people that's working there in Israel. They was killing people from Europe and tech hostages. So they came just to make damage, to kill, to rob, and that's it. We wasn't shocked in the beginning, but after a couple of days, we was understanding the situation, and the Israeli government decided to take Hamas out of the heart, totally. No more Hamas after that, because nobody will live in this area when 2-3 kilometers of you, there's missiles every day and shooting and whenever. So that was after the shock, we understand the situation, and this is now the decision to go all the way, even with the leaders.
What do you think? I mean, what is their goal? What is the goal of those attackers, those Hamas?
The idea of Hamas is one Islamic state. So they are Shias, So they don't care about nothing. They want to destroy Israel and to make like from Egypt to Iran, big Islamic state. That is their mission for them. And that's the reason they said they're going to call it's called jihad, to kill people and to be heroes.
Create one big Islamic state worldwide. Now there's about 1 billion of them, right?
And I think it's also alarm signal to Europe to know what's going in the backside of the Europe. You see the demonstration in London, 500,000 people, in Paris and Belgium or whenever.
It's crazy.
So this is a big alarm from all the world.
I understand. I believe I understand the goal of Hamas and the goal of these terrorists, Islamic State and all the other, Hezbollah, and there's many of them,
They're supported by the Iranian, all of them.
I understand. Yes, obviously. Iranian is the big supporter, the biggest supporter of terrorism in the world, I would
definitely.
say. I understand that, but what leaves a question in my mind, and I'm sure also in yours and many other people, how is it possible that the Israeli intelligence could fail on such a massive scale and be surprised by this?
Listen, I'm not politically guy. I can tell you from my view. I was thinking the way they was reacting, or the looking on Hamas, that was a mistake. When they support them with money that came from Qatar, and the idea was to make them quiet, but they was quiet, building, tunnels, building, muscles or whatever. So that I think was the mistake. And now we realize that it was a mistake, but when it was a little bit, never was quiet, but always we was buying quiet for 1-2 years, and that's it. Secondly, the mistakes of this, I don't understand. There was 90,000 people from Gaza working in Israel every day. We support them with food, the gasoline, everything coming from Israel. So they destroy now everything. Even Israeli government decided no more workers from Palestine. They bring from Cambodia, Thailand, whenever.
But not from Palestine.
Hamas will not be anymore in this area anymore.
You're convinced?
This is the way, to go all the way.
Israel will eradicate Hamas?
All the way.
Everything.
Even with support of the world or without support of the world.
Yes. So you think this will never happen again?
I think if we take it out, the Hamas, and we take them, even the leaders, it will not be. I don't know who will be responsible in Gaza after that. Yes, but of course Hamas will not be responsible anymore.
But the children or the young people are being indoctrinated with this ideology. They are growing up believing Israel is evil, Jews are bad. You don't think something will come?
No, but I think if you take maybe let's say 50-60% of the people there, they want to live.
Yes.
They want to work. They want to bring food home. They want to have their life. But you know, the leaders of them, they are in Qatar, living in the palaces. Billions of dollars they have in their account, and they don't care about these people.
No, they don't.
And when Israel told the people, listen, we don't want you, we have very military army, go to the south, we help you, there was the Hamas people were shooting them people.
Of course.
Not to go to the south.
Yes.
So it's mean they don't care about nothing, not about the people of them. Using people like a shelter, using hospitals like a shelter for them. You know, so this is not even human being, and it's against the people of them.
They're using them as human shields.
Yes.
And they actually want to show this in the media, I believe. They want to, even their own people, they want Israel's people dead, but they want even more their own people dead, so they can show the media how bad Israel is.
You always to see the other movies that we have, and our military spokesman speak every day and giving directly. You know, there was a story that there was said that when the war that he was attacking by missile one of the hospitals, but in fact that was them that attacking by mistake. One missile was on the hospital, but all the world would say, "Wow, we are attacking." When we bring the proof, and the American bring the proof, they changed the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how would the former Prime Minister Ehud Barak, under whom you served, right?
He was my commander in the army time, but he's not in politically more than 20 years, so he's not acting now politically. 16 years is...
Would the situation have been different under his leadership, or what would have been different maybe?
Listen, always we have the enemies, you know. Israel, if you look to history, you know. So in this time there was a problem of the Palestinian and Lebanon. So he was the one that bring back the army for Israel from Lebanon to the border. So this is different. But in the last 16 years, we have one prime minister. And my side is responsible because he's the prime minister.
Yeah, you hold him accountable. You hold him responsible.
Of course, he's a prime minister. Yeah. You have to know what's going on.
How do the people feel about him right now?
They're not happy, let's say.
That's not happy.
But they don't. We want to leave it after the war. Now we have to be together, strong,
which is
not to talk politically now.
Which is very.
Now
very
we have hostages there. We have a lot of soldiers there. There's around 400 soldiers killed already. So it's not the time to talk politically.
Yeah. So the unity of Israel is fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. We have a great people, great nation, strong, you know, and of course we'll be successful in the end. It will take time. Yeah.
It will take time, but the job will be finished. It will be successful.
No Hamas will be there in Gaza anymore.
And then we'll talk politics again.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Now you already answered part of this question, but how did a terror organization like Hamas become so powerful? Or how?
I mean, again, I'm not politically and I'm not analyze about, but as far as you know, I think we didn't read the map well, because the problem was the supporting with money from Qatar. The Israeli government agree with the Qatar that through Israel they will get every month, I don't know, 30-40 millions. And the idea was that maybe it will make them quiet, not to fight, and they use this money to build Gaza. But on the other side, we see the reaction. They was using that for other things, and that was the big mistake.
Yeah. Now, you said that you are sure that they're going to eradicate Hamas. What must Israel do
after that?
Well, how long will it take for this job to be finished, and what must happen? And what about the civilian casualties?
I tell you, when you're fighting in urban, like Gaza, I know very well Gaza from background, is very tight, you know. And you have to be very careful. You're going to go very fast. You have to go slow. And also you have to not to try not to hurt the civilian. So it's very, very, you have to go slowly, part by part by part. And don't forget that we have hostages there. So we have to be also careful when that they will not, and not all of them together. So you have to know that maybe something can happen to them.
Yes.
So this is very, very, so I don't think it will finish, not in 1 week, not in 2 weeks. It's a couple of months.
Couple of months.
Yes.
But not years.
If you want to clean everything, it's a couple of months.
Couple months.
Definitely.
Yeah, but not like years, but just a couple.
No, couple of months. Because,
yeah,
you know, in the end, you know, we have big press from the world also.
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
and the support time is limit. But we're supporting by the American. It's the most important for us.
Yeah, but what also is so exceptional about Israeli defense is that they don't want to kill any civilians. They don't want to kill
of course.
children. We're very careful.
I can tell you I was in the army 60s. We are very, very ethic army. We try not, but sometimes, you know, it's war.
Yeah.
There was killing civilian, most of them.
On purpose.
There was killing civilian
On
in Israel.
purpose.
People, that farmer, that quiet people, living, babies, women's, old people. Yeah. No, they don't care, man. So we're trying not. I mean, but sometimes, you know, the terrorists, they are reacting together with the people.
Yeah.
Some of them, you know, they don't have uniform. So you never know.
Well, one of the big differences, I think, between the Israelis and the Hamas is Hamas wants dead civilians.
Yes.
And Israel wants to avoid that. But the problem is there is no surgical war. There's no war where you can do surgery or only get the Hamas and.
No. It's not possible
it's
because
not possible.
They're part of the civilian. But again, they're using the civilian like a shelters.
Yes.
Especially in this hospital story, Shifa.
Yeah.
Down of this hospital, this is the headquarters of Hamas, inside the hospital.
Yeah, I've heard that before, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How's the situation in the settlements and in the West Bank?
The West Bank, you know, we was ready to know that there will be some reaction, especially from Hamas, because the Fatah in the West, they're okay, I mean, they're quiet. So immediately Israel was very tough with them. In the beginning, to tell them, okay, this is now the game. Not anymore like any demonstration, everything, immediately we will finish that. Yeah. So I think we are handling it, that is okay.
Okay. Now, the world is calling for a ceasefire, for a stop of weapons and stuff. What is your response to a ceasefire, and why does this seem unrealistic? For the Israeli government?
I tell you why. Because I don't think the world understands exactly what's happened.
Exactly.
And if it will happen in Belgium, if they will shoot and send 10,000 missiles to Brussels, I think nobody in Brussels will care what the world said or not. Yeah. Because this is the situation, you know. And we did not start this war.
Yes.
This Hamas came and did whatever they did. So we are protecting now ourselves against that, and I guess will not happen again. So we need support from the world, but it's not the most important. The most important is that we're living there. The Prime Minister of Belgium is not living in Israel. You don't understand what it means that one day this guy is coming in the morning just to kill, to shoot. They were shooting animals, dogs. That was on the kibbutz. For what reason? Why to rob women? Why to cut the head of babies? After killing them, why to fire the house of them after that? What?
That's not war, that's terrorism.
It's terrorist.
Yeah,
it's not a war.
Now, when it happened on the October 7th, the next day, I said this too. Watch the media. Now they're for Israel, but give a few days, a few weeks, and they're going to be against Israel more and more when they see the pictures from Gaza.
It's not against Israel. Let's say not to support too much, but it's not against. Yeah, because I know, for example, this Macron from French, he was in the first of the leader came to Israel and support Israel, and then he came back to France, and after 10 days, he changed his position because he have problem in his country with these Muslims people. So he play politically, but
he understands.
But he understands the situation.
How should we, as Westerners, respond to the images of horror that's coming from Gaza? Help the people to understand how we should respond to that, and on whose hands is the blood of the victims in Gaza? On the Hamas?
Hamas and Jihad, both of them. But the problem is you're not dealing here with state army, They don't give information. They don't let the Red Cross to come to see. We don't know how much in life. We don't get any information, only information that maybe our intelligent people, but they not, and you not cooperate with them directly. It's going via Qatar, via Egypt, So there's not like, we don't trust them, let's say. Who knows if they said 240, maybe some of them not in life because they took babies, they took old people, sick people, who knows?
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
They have no value for life.
No, nothing about life. No.
And even for their own people, that's what is...
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Now, how does the IDF know whether a building is occupied or a base for Hamas or not? Can they know?
First, we have the information, let's say, intelligent information. Secondly, we had the proof. We went there with the army, and we go, and our spokesman from the army, even himself, showed exactly. He was in Shefa, went down and showed the tunnels, showed the guns, showed the missiles, even school. They're using school, and they find missiles inside the school. Yeah, and kindergarten.
Yeah.
So you make
and hospital
himself photos online to show the world.
Yeah.
What is that? And we know a long time ago that the Shifa hospital down is the center of the Hamas leaders. And
is it true that Israel could have destroyed that hospital, but they did not because, of course, because of the children?
Not they said to that, listen, we take we built for you a hospital outside. They brought medicine, they brought incubators for the babies, they brought everything, even gasoline. But the Hamas was stealing the gasoline to use by themselves from the hospital. Yes. And there was 500 terrorists hiding in the hospital. Yeah. Dressing like a doctors or things like this.
Yeah. Now, I've seen some videos and some stuff on the tunnels. This interesting me. Do they go underneath to Israel? How far?
No, they cannot go to Israel because before they try, but we have a system to cut it. The tunnels is 500 kilometers inside Gaza.
500?
500 kilometers inside Gaza, yeah.
But it does not go outside?
No, it's not going to outside. It's just next to the Israeli. Before it was going, so we find it and we destroyed it. But inside Gaza, it's 500 kilometers of tunnels.
Okay. How has the war that Israel is doing developing so far? Where are we in this war?
The situation is that, now there is a not peace talks, let's say there is a break because they're saying the hostages, 50 of them, should be tomorrow or something like this. So we make like a stop for 3-4 days, supporting them gasoline and food and things like this, what they ask. But this is not the finish of the war, it is just part. Because we have more hostages, not 50, we know about the number 240. There's a lot of missing. For example, I'm working in Asia and Thailand. There was 29 hostages, Thai, there. They killed 19 and 16 missing. I mean, it's not even part of this war from between Israel. They are come to work in agriculture, also from Cambodia, also from Nepal, from Philippines. So this is like let's say it's our problem, but they would have to see that these people they kill Arab Israelis, even I think 16 of them killed them, and don't know the Arab because one woman she was with the burqa and they killed her.
Yeah.
So it's the leaders of the Israeli Arabs that said this is solidarity a little bit, that it's not part of the Quran to kill children, to rob women, and that this is not in the Quran. It's against the Quran, what they did.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier it will take a few months till this is finished.
I think so.
I know it's hard to say a war is successful, but how is it going successful so far?
So far, yes. So far, it's
going the right direction.
Yeah, we're going, but I tell you, it's a long way. It's very sensitive. You're in urban city like Gaza. It takes time.
Yeah.
Because they are living there. They know every part. You are coming, so we want to save our soldiers also. A lot of them killed already, so it's going. It will go slowly.
400 have been killed. You said 400.
No. Total in Gaza was like 60.
Okay. After the victory, after Israel will win this, how do you think? What will Gaza look like? What will Gaza be?
This is a good question. Who will hold Gaza? Because I think the Israel don't want to hold it, but they have to keep it to know who is going to be there. The next, but definitely not Hamas. So I think we will hold it a little bit and then we'll see. Because it's very strange. All these Arab countries, nobody wants to take it over. Not Egypt, not Jordan, Syria. Nobody wants the Palestinians.
Now, let me ask you this. If Gaza was with the right people, the right leaders, what could Gaza look like? It's on the ocean.
It was. I remember myself, let's say 40 years ago, people was going to make shopping in Gaza, Israel crossing the border. There was not missiles. There was not even fence. It was like okay.
Nice ocean, nice.
Yes, nice ocean, hotel. I mean, near the ocean, but since this Hamas came, they destroy everything.
Because people here in Europe, they think, oh, Gaza is such a horrible place and it's so awful. And this is one of the problems, I think, because it's the leaders who make it that.
Yes.
And if you change the leadership in any company, in any...
I tell you, 90,000 workers was coming every day from Gaza to work in Israel, construction, agriculture, whenever, economically. I think 120 trucks every day from Israel with food and everything going to Gaza. We support them with oil. So it was can be for them good. But, the leaders thinking differently, they're not living even there. They're living in another world and send the people.
Well, maybe I'm too simple in my thinking, but if there was good people leading it, it could be like a paradise.
Yes. Definitely,
it's on the Mediterranean.
We can help them to build a port, an airport. We said there was a lot of ideas to make it like a free zone or something. But with whom we talk, with people that want to kill you.
So you cannot negotiate with terrorists.
Nothing.
You cannot, and this is what the world does not understand.
Yeah.
Now, do you think the Palestinian Authority can be trusted?
Listen, the PLO it's differently. They are not. Let's say the thinking about Palestine, that's history, but they're not fanatic like Islamic, and they're not supporting from the Iranian or whatever. So, but this leader is too old. I mean, Mahmoud Abbas, too old, and he don't have the power. Maybe if there will become another generation, so that will be another story, but not him.
Okay, so there's a difference, you think?
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that the Hamas leaders don't live in Gaza, they live in Qatar, in
Most of them, yes.
in Iran, and elsewhere. How do you think Israel can put an end to Hamas with the leaders living in palaces somewhere else?
Don't worry, the leaders is the same. The fighter of Hamas in Gaza and the leaders the same. They have not to be here because they are supporting.
Okay, but if they stay living...
Don't worry, everybody coming is time. And they know that.
Yes, they know that. Now, is Hamas a threat to the world outside of Israel? Will there be an increase in terrorism worldwide, you think?
Worldwide, no, but here and there, just want to see it like supporting. I mean, they're supporting Gaza, like they make demonstration, or they try maybe to attack one synagogue, or they put signs. But I think it depends on the countries. For Germany, it was very tough with them. Also in Austria, many countries, but they have still, groups, different places in the world, and they say they will do something against Israeli embassy or against Israelis, the traveling or something like this.
I think the world needs to understand how important it is that Israel wins this war and that Hamas is eradicated. How can we help the people understand why it is so important for the world that Hamas is gone?
Because you can see, that this Hamas, the ideology of them is not to live in peace. They don't want peace. The dream of them is it's one Islamic state with the Islamic solution, that the women will go with this burqa and all these habits. That's the vision of them. And that's what the new generation go with this. Because let's say when they're coming to Europe, they're growing very fast. Because regular family, let's say it's 2 children, 2 or 3, maybe, they're coming 6, 7, 8 years. So they're growing very, very fast. And always they feel like a community inside the country, So there's some places, for example, in French, that people are afraid to go, even Jewish people, because also the anti-Semitic and
it's not safe for Jews.
It's not safe.
Some people say Germany is not safe for Jews either. And
depends.
We already talked about the goal of Hamas. Are you familiar with the Hamas Charter? With their goal? You mentioned that already, about having the Islamic State worldwide.
Yeah, this is the vision of them.
But isn't that the goal not just of Hamas? All these extremist terrorist organizations, right?
Yes.
Whatever their name is, it's
no jihad and some. I think the PLO is a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah, PLO want Israel like a Palestine or to make, but they said something else.
Okay.
They say one Islamic state, almost maybe one day all the world.
How can it be prevented that the next generation of Palestinians become also terrorists, the ones growing up?
If you see the schools of them, movies from the schools, and which books they have, so you understand they grow them very Israeli, Jewish, we have to be killed. They are animals, whatever they call it, and that's what they study since they're in the kindergarten.
Well, I know what you're saying is true.
You see the books of them.
Yeah, I know what you're saying is true because I was in Hebron and just looking with my friends, with my son and my friends, and we had kids come to us screaming against Israel, yelling against Israel. And today, it was just out of nowhere this happened. It was very weird. It felt very strange and didn't feel good.
Yeah.
In your opinion, why is the media in much of the West against Israel? Or are they against Israel? What do you think?
I don't say they're against Israel. They don't understand the situation. So what they're getting the information from, let's say, Al Jazeera, all the things, what's happening from one side. Yes. But when you're coming and show them what's going from our side, or even just give them some information, some movies, so I think they understand. But they have to support politically the country of them, because like the French leader, he was one of the first that came to Israel to support us, and then he changed his mind, talking differently, because they said that we're killing civilian there. Okay, civilian killed because it's a war, but it's not our reason to kill civilian. We did not come to kill civilian.
Israel tries to kill us.
The Hamas, Hamas, they came to kill civilian. 1,400 civilian was killed by them.
It's totally different.
Especially this music festival.
Yeah. Now, do you think a two-state solution is even possible?
I don't know. With events, who will be the leader and who will be the party? Because, of course, with this Hamas and Jihad, no way. But
it's been tried by every American president, or many of them.
It's not working, because if the idea of them is not two countries, it's to one country, our country, to take and to destroy. So how we can talk with them?
That's what I think. I don't.
No, there's no way.
I don't think it's possible.
It's not possible.
Because if they say from the river to the sea, basically Israel has to be eradicated.
Yes.
How can you have two states?
No, it's not working. Not at this time. Maybe in the future we see what's going, but not.
But do you think the politicians understand this, or they just
the Israelis?
No, like let's say American presidents or other president leaders.
There's a vision of them.
A vision, but
it's just a vision, but it's practically it's not working.
You think it's fake? Is there?
It's not fake. Maybe it's to show the world they are involved or something, but I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Will there ever be peace?
It's a good question. Since I was child, they was telling us, when you be 18, you will not go to the army. They will not need the army anymore. Now 75, and we need so.
Yeah.
Who knows?
What would have to happen for peace in that area to happen?
It's a good question. I think it depends on leaders. But
on the Palestinian side.
The Palestinian side, not the Israeli side,
yes.
Because you cannot deal and talk with this, not with Hamas, not with Jihad, not with Hezbollah. Because it's not even basic to talk about.
Yeah. Let me ask you one more question.
Yeah.
How are the people of Israel doing right now during this situation? People like you
supporting people. They cannot go to the army. They support with volunteers, donation, doing. We are very strong.
Is there fear?
People.
Is there fear?
The feeling, support, and we have big solidarity. Even the problem was a big solidarity. Not afraid, but people was in the beginning worried. But we trust our army, and we know that we have to be very strong in this area.
You said earlier that Israel will finish this without help of the world or not, right?
Yes.
But how does it feel for Israeli people when so much of the world is now more and more against, or not against, but not supporting? How does that feel?
I don't think that people are dealing with this, because the people what is dealing, it's what's happened in the 7th of October.
Yeah.
It's still very fresh.
They're focused on that.
Focus on that. And the only way is to kick them out from there, because all the people in these areas will not come back if they're not in the border against missiles or shooting or whatever. That's the goal.
One last question. How can we help as outsiders?
Supporting. Putting the real stories. There's a lot of movies that are running, showing exactly what they did. And to understand that our army is a very ethical army. We don't come to kill civilians. We want just to protect our country. We did not start 7 October. They start with us. Yeah. So we was defending ourselves.
I know.
Yes, that's it.
Know. Yeah. And a lot of fake videos out there.
Lots of fake running.
Well, I want to do everything in my power, which is limited.
I appreciate that.
To support Israel, it's big.
We need support.
And that's
from
what
the people, from the nation, from countries, to understand the situation.
That's why we've done this interview.
And we invite them to come and to see the damage what these guys did. So when you see with your eyes, you understand more than just someone sending information on the air.
Well, thank you so much, Chaim, for this interview. It was great, and I learned a lot, and we will continue to support Israel as much as we can. Well, it's great that you stayed with us till the end, and I hope you find this interesting, but not only interesting, I hope it stirs your heart, and I hope with all my heart that you will support Israel in any way you can, in the way you speak, what you promote, that you don't share the wrong kind of information. It's really about the right information. It's about the truth. And we stand for the truth. We stand for the Jews, the people of God, for Israel. And we will do whatever we can to support this endeavor.
Thank you.
God bless you. Yeah, greetings to all of you watching this special video all around the world. We are so happy that you joined us for this important topic, for this important issue that's, all around spoken of in the world. And I have a very, very special lady sitting next to me right now from Israel. And her name is Dalit Stauber. And she lives in Tel Aviv. And she's now with me here. And I'm so glad you're with us, Dalit. Thanks for coming just to speak with us. Speak with me today.
I'm very happy to be here.
That's awesome. What is your background? Tell us a little bit about your background and how you have been involved with Israel.
Okay. So I was born 65 years ago, almost, in Israel,
wow.
to my mother and father. My mother is 7th generation in Israel.
Wow.
And my mother, her life is entangled in the history of Israel. First of all, she is the daughter of an ultra-Orthodox family from Jerusalem and Hebron. She is the youngest of 14 children. She lost her first husband in the Sinai War in 1956, and she married my father, and gave birth to 3 children, me and my 2 brothers. I grew up to be an educationalist.
Oh.
I was twice the Director General of the Ministry of Education of the State of Israel, responsible for all of the education system from birth to university.
Great.
And this is a wonderful profession, full of optimism, trying to be engaged with the young generation who will be well prepared for a better future.
For the next leaders of the country.
Yes, for sure, the best leaders, Karl, and also people whom their life will be based on values and will have a life of meaning and will be well equipped for the 21st century, which is so challenging.
It is very challenging, and we need great leaders in this world.
Sure.
What are you involved in right now? What are you doing right now?
I resigned from the government about a year ago, and I continued actually in my life mission, doing good in the world, and I'm doing it today. I'm involved in a new organization called Lives. The purpose of Lives is to educate for tolerance. Okay. This is very ironic today that we are talking out after the 7th of October, but the idea was born long before that. Yeah. We do feel that we have to learn from the lessons of the past and to raise much more tolerance between communities, and we want to do it through more understanding of the Holocaust and educating people to understand the important values of the Jewish people, like education, the importance of the family, helping others. And the second field under Lives is medicine and health, to do good by promoting projects that promote better life in the field of health and medicine.
That's great. I love it, because you're building people.
We are building people, we are building a better life for everybody. I want to stress, we are not talking only about the Jewish people. We believe that people, were created in the image of God, and we want to do well in the world for humanity. We believe that if people have good life, maybe they will also want to do good in the world.
Well, Israeli people have brought up so many great people in the history.
And in addition, we are the startup nation, we have so many good ideas, and why not to make...
And patents also, right?
Patents, and we want to influence and to have impact on a better future.
Well, that's what leaders do. They influence and impact people. You don't have to have a title to be an influencer. You don't have to have a title to be a leader. You have to, like you, just build people.
Build people, and I think that if you're doing the right work, you leave a sign in the hearts of people. You leave a mark.
Yeah. I'm a Christian pastor, as you know, and I'm also in the people business. I build people, you know. And
I want to tell you something about the Christian community in Israel.
Please.
As a Director General, I've learned I learned to know the Christian community very well. And in Israel, they excel in every single parameter you can think of. They are the best. We, Jews and Christians, are very similar.
Yes.
We have very similar values.
Of course.
Education.
Yes.
They contribute to the country. They are involved in the best of professions. Many of them are doctors, engineers. They take care of their health in a very good manner.
Yeah.
And as I told you, they excel in every aspect, in every parameter. And the schools, you know, the schools of the church, they also excel. And they have a private system in Israel, which we support.
Super.
And
That's great,
in
yeah.
Haifa, in Jaffa, in many places around the country.
Yeah, Jews and Christians are definitely, you know, thinking the same.
Yes, we are very similar in many aspects.
We have the same book we look to.
Yes, the Old Testament.
Genesis, you know, created in the image of God. That's our foundation. You know, He made us, and He made us in His image, as man and woman, both. Now, let's go to a more serious topic now, because since October 7th, the world has changed. A lot of people don't know, you know, what really happened. But can you tell the world what happened on October 7th?
I'll tell you what happened from my very personal perspective.
Please.
I am an early waker. You know, I wake up very early in the morning. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
It was a holiday in Israel.
I remember.
And at 6:33, the alarm, the siren went out, and I was sure it's a mistake, you know, because it came out of the blue.
Yeah.
I called the police and I asked, is it a real alarm? And they said, go immediately to the shelter.
Oh my God.
We were bombarded with more than 3,000 missiles, and thousands of terrorists invaded the border of the south of Israel, entered to kibbutzim in the south, entered houses of families, civilians, grabbed babies from their bed, massacred women, old people, young children, killed people who participated in a musical festival, raped women. I don't want to describe the horrific, unprecedented actions, cruelty that hasn't been seen since the Holocaust. And more than 1,200 people were murdered the same day. We were under a shock. We were taken by surprise.
Yeah.
There was a huge mistake and a wrong concept that was exercised by the army and by the Israeli intelligence, and we were taken by surprise.
Yeah.
The trauma is huge. Many people lost their homes, lost their families. Many people are still refugees in their own country. More than 30,000 children have no schools. They are studying in hotels all over the country. And one of the worst effects is the psychological damage and the danger of post-trauma from what they have seen. And under Lives, we are also trying to support people to prevent post-trauma, and we are fundraising for that.
Crazy. That's chilling.
People cannot forget, you know, the terrible sights they were exposed to. This is something, either personally or what they saw. This is something that you cannot forget.
From your perspective, how could it have happened that Israeli intelligence failed to see that coming?
First of all, I think that the most important thing is to admit that we have failed. We have seriously failed. There was a huge mistake, a wrong conception that the Hamas is, to whom we gave 30 million, billions of dollars actually every month to build a community, to build people, to build schools, to build hospitals, actually secretly took this money and built an undercity. There is Gaza up the land, and there is a whole Gaza under land. And actually, we were shocked. It took 2 or 3 days to organize ourselves.
Yeah.
But and the commanders of the army were very honest to stand in front of the public and say, we are responsible. We'll do everything now to use our knowledge, our expertise to win the war. And then we'll investigate it very, very carefully.
Yeah.
And some people will have to pay the price. We will not forgive that.
Yeah, they'll be gone.
Yes, for sure.
At least politically. How can Israel ensure that this will never happen again?
I'll tell you something which is very sad for me to say, because as I told you, I'm an educationalist. As an educationalist, my main weapon is optimism and thinking of a better future. Unfortunately, I have to say that Israel, the only democratic state in the Middle East,
Yes.
is located in a very, very challenging neighborhood.
Of course.
And we will always have to be very, very alert to what's going around us.
Yeah.
And this is not good news, because when I was a young child, my father, who fought 4 wars, said that I will not have to go to the army. Now my own children and probably my grandchildren will also have to serve and leave our country strong, because our strength is our, insurance
Exactly.
for existing in this very, very difficult area in the world.
So it's a good idea to always have a strong military, obviously.
And strong society.
And strong
And
society.
smart people.
Yeah.
Educated people. I think that the strength of a country is not only the military. It's the strength of the people.
Yeah.
And the strength of the people means being well educated, having the right values, fighting for the right things. This makes a country great, and this makes a country strong. And in spite of the terrible disaster that happened to us on the 7th of October, the civil society in Israel proves
Strong.
that its strength is amazing.
Very
The
strong.
unity that you see now, in spite of the polarized left and right before the 7th of October.
Yeah.
Everybody is acting together, religious, non-religious, Israeli, Arabs, and Jews.
Yeah.
Everybody understands the threat. Everybody was threatened.
Yeah.
So we work together to support the people and to ensure that we can change this situation for the better.
They laid all the differences aside and focus on
And
on
people
the,
do
on
that.
the job.
This is an amazing thing, what is going on in Israel now.
It's amazing to me how strong Israelis are. I mean, I can't imagine if something like that would happen in my country. The strength. I don't think our people will be this strong. It's great. How did you react after you hear what the world is saying now about what's happening in Gaza? Their perspective on the situation, what the media is saying. How do you feel about that?
I'll tell you something. It's very, very difficult to understand and to remember what happens on the 7th of October.
Yeah.
We were brutally attacked. Civilians were attacked. And the pictures and the movies that went outside to the world were terrifying. However, people have short memory.
Totally.
And now Israel had to defend itself. A war is going on. A war never looks nice. Because in a war there are casualties and terrible pictures are going out from Gaza. And children and women are suffering also in Gaza. And I think that we have to be empathetic, for people who are suffering. They are suffering because of their leaders who don't care less about them. Don't care less about them. And we see that all the time. They are hiding in the tunnels and let them suffer.
So the Palestinians need to be freed from Hamas as well. They are the
leadership, as we've said in the beginning of our conversation, is extremely important.
Yeah.
What is the future they see for the country? What do they educate their children for? What life means to them? We as Jews, life is the most sacred value. Life is sacred. We'll do everything to save lives.
Yeah.
But we are confronting people. Life for them means nothing. They want to die because when they go to heaven, they will have 70 women with them, or they have beliefs that are totally contrary to our beliefs. So this, and I can tell you because I saw their books and I saw what we are educating for love. We are educating for peace. We are educating for optimism.
Yes.
And unfortunately, in their books, Israel doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Israel is something temporary, in their opinion. And if they don't educate differently the young generation, we will still have many problems.
Yeah.
Because I want to believe that most people want to live regular lives, to have good life, to have a nice family, to be educated, to work, to support their families. But when mothers, are proud that their children become terrorists, and when leaders pay salaries to families who send terrorists to kill citizens, then the situation is illogical.
Yeah, in Europe we say everybody basically wants the same thing, to be happy and healthy and have a good family, but that's a wrong assumption because they don't want the same thing you want or we want. They want something totally different.
While we are building a society, they are like, the terrorists, people, the leadership who supports terrorism and states who supports terrorism. This is like cancer to humankind. It eats us from inside, and then the damage will be seen everywhere. In what happened in America with the terror attack a few years ago was a shock to America.
Yeah.
When it happens in Europe, it can happen in Europe.
Yeah.
We are only one step in the way because terrorism does not see life as sacred.
Yeah.
They want to achieve something else, and the world has to be aware of it. Of course, I don't doubt the fact that people must have their rights, people want to be free, people want to have their nation, but they don't want us to have our nation. They don't acknowledge the
Legitimacy, yeah.
that Israel is a legitimate country.
How is the Israel education system structured, and how does the immigration for Arab citizens and refugees work?
Israeli Arabs in Israel are equal citizens. Our education system is free for everybody from the age of 3 to the age of 18. And there is an Arab they have the national education system just like any other child in the country. We are all equal in that respect.
Am I right? Is it 20% Arab Israelis?
Yes.
Okay, and they
A little less, yes, more or less.
and they feel they're Israelis. They feel like Israelis.
They are, look, it depends who you're talking to, and I want to tell you that the best surprise is the behavior of Israeli Arabs in this crisis. They identify with the country. They work together with the Israeli Jews to support the people. And of course, there are still things that have to be improved for the Arab community in Israel. There is a lot to be done for them because some of them are still very poor. And the Bedouins are still very poor. There is a lot to do, and the country has to do it. But in terms of equality, they are equal citizens in every aspect.
Yeah. Now, I have some friends in Bethlehem that are Arabs, but they're Christians.
Yes.
How do you think they feel? I haven't asked them.
This is totally different. As I told you, Christians in Israel are wealthy, have high social status, very educated, very well engaged in the economy of the country. And it's very, very different from other Muslim or Bedouin or communities. We do have another community in Israel which is very important, and this is the Druze. The Druze community is participating in every aspect. They go to the army, they join the army, and they participate in every aspect of the Israeli life.
Okay, that's great. Now, the world is calling for a ceasefire now. What is your response to that, and why does that seem unrealistic?
While we're talking, actually, ceasefire is being promoted
Yes.
and agreed by the governments. And actually, it's not because Israel wanted it. Israel wanted to finish with the combats and reach the goal of the war, which has not yet been achieved. But Israel, as I said, and this is very important to understand the difference, we are very, very sensitive to human lives. And we have 239 hostages in Gaza, somewhere under the ground. And the pressure of the Israeli public to bring them back alive, because we are very worried for their lives, and we cannot be sure that all of them are still alive. So the pressure of the Israeli public that for those 239 people has convinced the government to agree to a ceasefire, to give them a chance to come back to their homes and families.
Yeah.
This is a very important value for us. We have this in our Torah,
Yeah.
to bring back hostages,
Yeah.
and we still keep this value. It's a sacred value in Israel to bring back people who fell captive, or they are not even captives, they are hostages,
Our
they are
people.
citizens.
Our people.
Our
yeah.
people.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine what they must be going through. Do you think? I mean,
It's horrible. I can tell you,
But
I
they're-
can share with you that since the 7th of October, I cannot depart from my sadness. I'm very sad, and I feel the burden on my heart because I know babies are there, mothers are there, old women, sick people, and also soldiers. And our soldiers who prove their bravery every day in very, very hard conditions for fighting are also being killed in this war. You know, in a war, there is always a very, very high price. Even when you win, there is a high price. And we must remember that. That's why we are peace seekers in Israel.
Yeah,
And we don't want to give our aspiration for peace.
that's a fact. But unfortunately, the world doesn't know that or see that. And that's very sad because it's so different of what has happened on October 7th and what Israel is doing now as a response or as a reaction.
You know for how long we have been attacked by Hamas and from the south without giving any response? They sent missiles to our cities, and Israel didn't react.
Yeah.
But this time it was much too much. It was waging a war on citizens. And you know, the first duty of a country is to give you a feeling of safety. Yeah. And this is what Israel failed for those citizens on the 7th of October, and now it's being corrected because they want to go back to their homes. Yeah. And they will not be able to go back to their burned homes that will be rebuilt. We will rebuild the houses, but the people will not be able to go there if they don't feel safe.
Yeah. What's your opinion on the Palestinian Authority?
Actually, I believe they are the only possible partner. However, they are very weak. They are very weak. And in order to be able to control the terrible situation, the present situation, they have to be strengthened. They acknowledge the state of Israel. There were negotiations with them in the past with different governments, but they were not fruitful enough to, to reach the perfect situation. And it's a very, very complicated situation. I don't think anyone has the solution. Yeah. We have to make compromises because there is no best solution for this terrible situation.
But Yasser Arafat, with him, they also tried to get peace and two-state solution. I know American presidents tried, the Austrian chancellor, I don't know, do you remember him?
Yeah,
Bruno Kreisky?
Yes.
He tried, but it never happened. So how are they different?
I think that in order to have any kind of agreement that will ensure the safety of Israel, we must have a zone around our country which doesn't include weapons that will, intimidate our citizens. Mm-hmm. This is very hard to achieve. It's a very complicated issue. It's not just like that it hasn't been solved. It's a religious conflict, it's a territorial conflict, it's a political conflict. And some leaders, were not, I think, were not strong enough to continue to a solution, to a final solution.
I think it's already it's also two different gods,
Two different gods. It's
God.
very, very difficult to think that we will have to live on our sword for too many decades to come.
Yeah.
What do you tell your children? You will always have to fight for your life in this country.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose the hope for peace, but the reality is very, very complicated.
Yeah.
We don't have, the most loving people around us. We don't love Israel so much.
Well, that's an understatement.
However, there are Arab countries
Yeah.
like Dubai and Saudi now, who can see mutual interests.
Yeah.
And the prospects for a better future is to meet the mutual interests between people.
Well, that was going to be my next question. How can peace be accomplished? And what inner political changes must be made to ensure life side by side with the Palestinians?
If you have fanatic people who don't, like Hamas, they are extremists in every aspect. They don't want to talk with you. They only want one solution.
Yeah.
From Jordan to the sea, Palestine must be free, which means the eradication of the state of Israel. Those are not people you can find a solution with. You can find a solution with someone who understands that you have the right to live, just as you understand that he has the right to live.
Yeah.
And this is not quite the situation now in Israel, but
you
I don't want to lose hope, please.
I like the word hope.
Yes, hope. I don't think we can live without hope. I don't want a life with no hope. I don't want my children to live a life with no hope. We have to be realistic, but we must not lose hope, and we should act always for a better future.
Yes. You mentioned optimism, now you mentioned hope. I like hope even better. And I think hope is without hope there's no life. That's what we believe as Christians and as Jews. Hope is the oxygen for our soul.
I think hope is a skill.
Yeah.
Hope is a quality, and hope is a strategy.
Yeah, it's good.
It's also a strategy.
Yeah. You can live without food for 40 days. You can live without water for 4 days. You can live without oxygen for 4 minutes, but you cannot live without hope for 1
Without
second.
hope and without meaning. And you've mentioned the Holocaust, and Viktor Frankl wrote one of the most amazing books and about the Holocaust. He survived from the Holocaust, and he wrote, a human person can survive every condition if he knows why. He can survive everything if he knows what for. Yeah. If he can still has a meaning for life and has hope.
Has Israel and is Israel ready to make peace with Palestinians?
There are always, first of all, we are peace seekers. But there are political differences between people in Israel. Israel is a democracy. People have different views, and each one sees the peace in a different way. Yeah. So I think after the war, probably we'll have elections, and we'll see how things proceed from there.
Do you think a two-state solution is realistic?
I want a Jewish state.
Yes.
For me, it's very important. If I want a Jewish state, I want a Jewish majority.
Yes.
So I think only two-state solution might ensure that. But how to do it, as I said, is very complicated.
It's not happened until now,
Yeah,
why,
not yet.
Why hasn't the two-state solution ever been implemented?
I think because of leaders and because of the difficulties and because people didn't go to the end.
I mean, I love Israel. I really do.
So do I,
But why is... Sorry.
I say, for me, being a Zionist, what is the meaning of being a Zionist? Zionist from the word Zion. It's good to love Israel. You have to support Israel, but the most important thing is to live in Israel.
Yeah.
I want to live in Israel. I want to raise my family in Israel. I want my children to live in Israel. However, I respect very much the free will of other Jews who want to live elsewhere, in America, in Germany, in Europe. And Israel needs the Jewish communities around the world, and the Jewish communities around the world need a strong Israel.
What does it mean to be a Zionist?
To stand for Israel, to live in Israel, to understand the importance of the state of Israel and the difficulties of Israel, and never to give up, and in spite of all the difficulties, see the difficulties as challenges.
Yeah, challenges is good. Is Zionism inherently anti-Palestinian?
No, by no means, no.
So, as an Israeli, as a Zionist, you believe all people have a right to live and
For sure.
to be and
I said, of course,
and create an image of God.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what we believe as well. God loves everybody, all people.
That's the whole purpose of the organization we're building now, lives, to improve the lives of all people, no matter what religion they are from, no matter what country they are from, to improve the quality of life of people, making them healthier, making them have a better life, and educating them for more tolerance and mutual respect.
Why are so many people against Israel or not supporting it or even hating Jews? Why do you think that is?
I'm asking the same question. What do you think?
What do I think?
Yes.
I know. I know what I think.
What do you think?
I think it's spiritual. It's supernatural. It's demonic. How else can you?
You cannot explain it in a logical manner.
Right, and that's what I believe. I believe it's something.
See how many generations. It's still here.
Yeah.
It's still here, with all the fake news around it.
The language is a miracle, like you said to me earlier, and the 5,000 years the same language. I think the Jewish people are proof for God, because how else can you explain, all the God keeping that people for all these thousands of years?
First of all, I feel complimented by what you've said, yes. Mm-hmm. And I do think that in times of trouble, you do see the strengths of our people, and it's being proven now as well.
Yeah. Now, for me, Israel, and I will repeat this again, Israel for me is proof for God.
Israel is a miracle.
And if you don't believe in God, just by looking at Israel and the history.
I don't think, Karl, that anywhere around the world you can find a nation that was built from a desert and in 75 years has reached such qualities as the state of Israel, in terms of startup, in terms of quality of medicine, in terms of the quality of life. Living in Israel in times of peace is amazing. Living and it's a beautiful country.
It's beautiful.
It's holy for 3 religions. You can exercise free religion in Israel. And it's a democratic state. People can say what they think and feel safe about it. It's a beautiful country with so many views. The Dead Sea, Jerusalem. That's why it's a pity, that we have to spend so much money on defense. We could invest it on other things, but we don't have a choice.
No, I know what you're saying is true, because I've been to Israel many times, and I've also been to the other areas, if you know what I mean. I've been to Nablus and Hebron and other places, and you just feel the difference.
Just think about it, Karl. Our people, about 8 decades ago, was killed in the Holocaust. Survivors were actually refugees with nothing. They came to Israel broken. Did they sit and cry about their past? About the homes they left in Poland, in Morocco, in wherever they came from? They came and they started a new life. They built families. They remarried. They gave birth to children. They built the country. And this is what happened in 75 years in Israel.
It's incredible. It's amazing. Yeah. In your opinion, why is the media and much of the West against Israel or not supporting Israel?
I think the media is always after the bad news and not after the good news. You know, headlines don't like to, what will they write? What will they say about the achievements of Israel, about how our soldiers being careful while they are fighting? It's much more populistic, popular to show a crying child, a crying baby, and it is hurting. But what brought to this situation, many people like simple messages. They are not there for the complexity behind it. And the media has become very superficial in many aspects.
Yeah. What amazes me...
You don't ask why, what happened, what caused the situation. You simply see a shocking picture, and it is shocking.
Yeah. But there's got to be more, though, don't you think? I mean, I've lived in America for 10 years, and America was always for Israel and supporting Israel. But you see some of the presidents in recent years have taken stands against,
I think some of the presidents have not understood not only Israel, but also Islamic countries.
But they've also sent money to Iran. We know that
what Obama did, yes.
Obama and Biden, I mean, the one between Obama and Biden, he was very for Israel.
But Biden is standing now very strongly for Israel.
Okay.
And I think he's proven his friendship and the friendship of America to Israel, although he has also opposition from home. He's a politician eventually.
Yeah.
But I think he's doing his best to support Israel.
What scares me, though, is what's coming from the universities.
Oh, this is...
What is that?
This is appalling. This is appalling, and it's very, very worrying. Because if you think about it, those people are going to be the next leaders, the next political leaders, the next economic leaders. And if they are filled with hatred, with antagonism, without knowing the facts, without understanding the truth, ignoring the truth, and supporting killing and terrorists, this is very, very intimidating. And this is something that the citizens of America, where universities, did terrible things now, and their presidents didn't support Israel and didn't say anything about all the antagonism against Jewish students, and the fact that they were threatened within the campuses. This is something that should be taken into consideration.
Yeah, it's amazing from the high educated people from the universities. But what are they being taught from the professors? This is crazy.
But some of the professors are also, on that side.
It's crazy. That's really worrisome.
And so many of these universities were supported by Jewish money, and because America is thought, and we still think, is the country of freedom of speech and freedom of mind and equality, but it proves, sometimes differently.
No. Well, a friend of mine is also a pastor, and he says that when America turns its back on Israel, America will go down. That's what he says. We've always been for Israel, but if we turn our backs against Israel, America is going down. And I think he's right. Yeah. How are people doing? A couple more questions. How are people of Israel doing right now in this situation? Their unity, their strength?
On the one hand, there is, we see a lot of inner strength, unity, mutual support, a lot of volunteering, a lot of giving money to support the needy. However, it's a time that we know that we'll have to rethink about many things. We are simply waiting for the war to end so that we can investigate deeply the mistakes and correct them so that such things will never happen again.
It's very smart to understand. No matter where we are, left or right or whatever, we stand now in unity. We're focused on only this thing. Because a lot of families or businesses or organizations, when they have problems, they go against each other, like husband and wife. You know, we're on the same team. No matter what, we may disagree, but we're on the same team. You know, and this is amazing to me.
Just think about what happened on the 7th of October around the world. You know, when a war breaks out in many countries, people flee the country.
Yeah.
When the war broke out on the 7th of October, Israelis from all over the world were doing their utmost to come back immediately to join the battle.
Yes.
You know why? Because we were convinced that we are fighting for our survival.
Yes.
It's not a luxurious war. It's not a war we chose. It's a war for our survival. And if the world does not understand that this is a war for the Israelis' survival, then it's a huge mistake. And you see our brave soldiers, people left their studies, left their, wherever they were, and came back to join the military, to join the battle, because they knew they have to protect their country. And without Israel as a free country, the Jewish people is going to be in trouble, and I also think the whole world.
Yeah, I do too. That's also for us Christians, for my people, for Jesus followers. I see some of my colleagues, they're like, not standing strong. Like I would like to see them stand strong. I believe as Christians, we need to join you in the battle, join you in supporting Israel, because this is our heritage. We have the Word of God, the Torah, the Tanakh. We have our Savior, the Lord Jesus.
I want to tell you, and I want the viewers to understand how your support, how important it is for us to feel your support. We know we are right, but we need your support. We don't want to be a lone country in the whole world. We need your support. We need your voices to be heard. We want you to speak up. We want you to ignore the fake news and to reveal the truth.
Amen. Can I say that?
Yes, you can. We also say amen.
Well, I was going to ask you the final question, how can we help? But I think
Yes, you can help. You can help a lot by standing with us, by speaking up for Israel, by voting for leaders who support Israel, by coming to visit Israel. Please come and be tourists, support our economy, come and spend time in Israel. It's a wonderful country to spend a vacation. Visit the holy places. This is also a support.
I'm bringing 25 to 30 people in October.
This is support. We want to see you coming. We want to see the country being visited. And sometimes you're also asked, to help us financially, because there are so many needy people and so many, challenges now. As I said, people who need psychological treatment in order to prevent post-trauma, which is a very, very severe sickness that can cause damage for a whole of your lifetime. So there is a lot to do. And whatever you do, small or big, we appreciate, and it's important. Don't think I cannot do big things. Speak to your friends. Make a tour to Israel. Write a post. Speak the truth. Everything counts.
Awesome. Now let me ask you. We had a tour planned in October, actually from the 15th to the 26th, a few weeks ago, and we had to cancel it because
Please plan it and come.
We're coming in October next year.
Next year, wow, that's a lot. That's a long time to wait for you.
What do you think? When is the next good time to do a tour to Israel? Is it going to be in a month, 2 months, 5 months? How will the situation be? Let's say in May.
We are now in November.
Yeah.
I believe in 6 months.
Yeah.
You'll be able to tour Israel and enjoy and have a good time.
We're coming in 11 months or 10 months.
Okay. So. Anytime you come, you're welcome.
But now, could I travel alone just to
yes,
with my wife? No
yes,
problem?
not you will not go to places. The north and the south were evacuated from citizens because they are endangered. But in the center of the country, you can travel alone. And if you hear the siren, you have enough safe rooms to go to and shelters and feel protected.
In the south, it's also very bad?
Very bad. People are still more than 200,000 people left their homes, and in the north as well. All together, 500,000 people are not in their homes now in Israel.
So they came to the center.
Not only to the center, also to Eilat.
Eilat is okay?
Eilat is okay, although we have some threats from Yemen coming now. New enemies just pop up from nowhere. But yes, people are wherever they can feel safe and wherever there were hotels to host them. The country pays for that because their homes they cannot go back to their homes now.
Yes. Well, Dalit, thank you so much for speaking with me. It was
Thank
a pleasure.
you. And let's pray for a better future.
We're praying.
And for good human beings, to educate for the best.
In Psalms, Psalms 122, it says, pray for the peace of Israel, for the peace of Jerusalem.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. That's the prayer.
Yes.
ואמרו אמן.
Yes. Well, thank you people for watching this video till the end. It was a pleasure to speak with Dalit. And it is our motive, our heart to help Israel, to bless Israel in any way we can. And please do the same. Spread the truth. Tell people the truth and just stand up for Israel. And you'll be blessed because God, the God of Israel, said, blessed is everyone who will pray and stand for the peace of Israel. That's why we do this. And we want to help you, help others see what's really true. And for this people to be blessed as well. I have sitting next to me Rabbi Abraham Kaminer, who is a very special man who came from Israel to speak with us today. And he will speak in Hebrew, a very special message that's on his heart to you and to all of us. And he will be translated from Hebrew into English by the wonderful Dalit Stauber. And we're so glad you're here as well. Thanks for coming. And let's hear what you have to tell us and to the people.
קודם כל, תודה רבה לקרל, תודה רבה ליואן שהזמנתם אותי, תודה רבה לדלית שאת איתי ביחד. אני נולדתי לפני 66 שנה בבני ברק, למדתי בבתי ספר, התחתנתי בגיל 22, ובאותה תקופה החלטתי שאני רוצה את החיים שלי להיות פעיל חברתי ולעשות שינויים ודברים משמעותיים בחיים.
Rabbi Kaminer, I'll translate that. So Rabbi Kaminer is very thankful for being here with you, with Karl and with the audience. He was born 66 years ago in a very small religious town in Israel called Bnei Brak. It's in the center of the country. He married when he was 22 years old. By the way, this is usual for Orthodox people in Israel to marry young. I'm adding a little bit. And when he married, he decided that his life mission would be a social activist. He would like to be an activist for the good of people.
ובשנת 81 התחלתי עם פעילות חברתית עם נוער באשדוד, ובאמצע 81 העיר ערד הייתה עיר צעירה שהתפתחה, היה שם קהילות שונות, קהילות חילוניות כלליות שונות, עולים מברית המועצות, ובאו קהילה חרדית שאני חלק מהקהילה החרדית, ואמרו לי בוא תבוא לעזור לנו לבנות את העיר ולפתח את העיר.
Okay. So when he married, he first lived in Ashdod, which is a peripheral city in Israel, towards the south of Israel. And he started working with youth, young people. And then he was approached and he heard about Arad. He learned about Arad, which was in a very small city in the desert, in the Negev, on the way to the Dead Sea near Metzadah. And in Arad, there were many different communities, secular people, new immigrants coming from Russia, Orthodox people, all different people.
החלטתי שאני בא ועושה פעילות חברתית. מצד אחד אני אדם מאוד חרדי ועוזר לבנות קהילה חרדית. מצד שני, כל הפעילות שלי בעיר לאחד ולעשות עם כלל האוכלוסיות, עם החילונים, עם הלא יהודים שגרו באזור שמה, איך לבנות עיר בפריפריה מהקצה אל הקצה.
So he understood that his mission is actually to help Arad to grow and flourish by uniting the different communities and helping them develop. And in this area, that as an ultra-Orthodox person, he decided to help the Orthodox people as well as the Arab citizens living in the Negev and all the other inhabitants of Arad.
ואפשר לומר שבתקופה קצרה יחסית עשינו דברים בעלי משמעות חברתית מיוחדת. דוגמה לאחד המיזמים המיוחדים, הייתי פעיל בהמון מיזמים, לא היה באזור שמה שירותי רפואה בלילות ובסופי שבוע, ועם הממשלות זה לא הלך, אז החלטנו לקחת את הפילנתרופיה בעיקר הבריטית ולהקים חדר מיון קדמי, להביא רופאים 24 שעות וסופי שבוע. זה היה דבר נשמע מאוד מאוד מורכב ומסובך, ובעזרת ידידים טובים מאנגליה בראשות סר איין גנספילד, ליאונוי, קונרד מוריס, סר מיק דייוויס ועוד מייקל סינקלר ועוד אנשים טובים, התארגנו להקים את חדר המיון הקדמי.
One of the projects that he would like to give as an example is that in this area, which was quite isolated at the time, there was no front medical room, emergency room. People had to go at night if they had fever, if they had a baby suffering from something, if they had breathing problems, heart attacks, they had to go to Beersheba. So he decided to do something huge, to build an emergency room to be active in Arad for all people of the area. And this was his first huge philanthropic project. And most of the money then came from very generous people whose names he mentioned from Britain.
עכשיו, מה שאני רוצה לספר, שהמבצע הקטן הזה שינה חברתית את כל הפריפריה של מדינת ישראל בתחומי הבריאות. אחרי זה עשו את זה בדימונה, עשו את זה בצפון, עשו את זה בעוד מקומות בפריפריה, ואז ראיתי שעם פעילות פילנתרופית וחיבורים נכונים אתה יכול לשנות חברה ועולם.
So, as a result of this amazing project, what happened is that other cities in the area saw that and they imitated what happened and they also built emergency rooms. And Rabbi Kaminer realized that by acting as a civil servant, as someone who acts for the best of his community using philanthropic money, he can change the reality of so many people in Israel and make the area flourish.
מה שאני רוצה לספר, שבמשך השנים עשינו המון עבודה, בנינו את העיר עם מוסדות, מפעלי חינוך, מפעלי ספורט, בריאות והמון פעילות. בראשון לראשון 16 פרשתי מהפעילות בערד, ואז הייתי פעיל בקרן צדקה אנגלית מספר שנים. ובאותה תקופה הגיעה אליי הפנייה להקים את המוזיאון הגדול בבני ברק על גבול רמת גן בני ברק. ראיתי בזה אתגר חברתי יהודי מיוחד.
A few years ago, he decided to move from Arad. He stopped his activity from Arad and he became the head of another philanthropic fund. And he heard about a very, very important project, the wish to build a very important museum on the border between Bnei Brak and Ramat Gan. And I'll just explain what is so special about this museum. The site in Bnei Brak that has to be built actually is an archive which contains more than 2 million artifacts that were collected from survivors of the Holocaust and were not given to other museums, and they can light the triumph of the spirit, the Jewish spirit in times of crisis. They can be investigated by researchers, and they can throw so much understanding and tolerance and learning from the lessons of the past. And that's why he is all involved in his ambition to build this museum and make it a place for everybody to come and see all those wonderful documents that are now hidden in a very small place.
וביחד עם הפעילות הפילנתרופית הזאת, יש לי חלום של 40 שנה, ועכשיו אני מרגיש שהזמן הגיע לחיות את החלום הזה. אחרי הקורונה, שראינו שמצד אחד יש בעולם הרבה אקדמיה, הרבה כסף, הרבה רפואה טובה, ובא חיידק אחד שפגע בעולם. אמרתי, צריכים לאחד כוחות בעולם, לעשות עתיד בריאותי, רפואי, הרבה יותר טוב. לאחד את הכוחות הגדולים ברפואה, את הפילנטרופים הגדולים שיושבים עם המון כסף, וביחד לעשות עולם יותר טוב, שיעזור לכל העולם לעשות יותר טוב.
Then, a few years ago, as we all remember, COVID burst, and the world met this epidemic, which confused us all and changed stopped our lives actually for a while before we started understanding what was going on. And this gave him an opportunity to think and understand that just like what happened in the times of the pandemia, that people cooperated with big money and big intellect and researchers and medical knowledge to work for a vaccine and help the world. This should be now his life mission, to connect between the big money so many people have, between the huge intelligence and knowledge of academics, and between the wish to do good, and to connect all of this under an organization that will promote health for all people around the world. Because the pandemic knew no religion, no borders, it hurt everyone, so the solution should make a better future for everyone.
ואני רוצה לומר שבשביעי לאוקטובר, שאנחנו תכננו לצאת, ממש בשביעי לאוקטובר, חוץ עם כל התוכניות הגדולות, ראינו מה שקרה, הקבוצה שלנו התארגנה כרגע, חוץ מכל הדברים הגדולים, לעשות מרבית חירום לאזרחי ישראל, לצרכים הגדולים, ואני שמח כרגע שאני יושב פה עם קרל, ושיואן חיבר לי את החיבור הזה, כי אני חושב שאנחנו צריכים לעשות עם הנוצרים אוהבי ישראל, שיעזרו לנו למיזמים שלנו. אנחנו לקחנו לעצמנו את המיזמים, גם לעזור לחלקים כאלה, ובעיקר לעזור לילדים שזקוקים לשירותים הפסיכולוגיים ופסיכוטכניים. ואני רוצה שנהיה שותפים לעזור מהדברים הקטנים, ועד ביחד לבנות עולם גדול יותר טוב.
So just before the 7th of October, we were about to embark on fundraising for the museum. But when this disaster happened and the war broke on the 7th of October, we decided to stop for a while our activity and to change our mission in order to help the victims of the war and fundraise for those who were traumatized in order to give them psychological treatment to prevent post-trauma. And this is a huge opportunity he's so thankful for, to create a wonderful partnership between our brothers, the Christians all over the world, to act together, to do good, to help us with our projects, to help the traumatized and the victims, and later on with a wonderful idea, to make good and promote health and tolerance in the whole world.
It's great what you're doing. Thanks for sharing your story with us, and thank you for being here again. And we will do whatever we can to share your story with the people, because we want people all over the world to support you, your country, your people, and your mission. We really are so grateful. God bless you. God bless you. Well, thank you so much for watching this very important video and this very important story and this very important cause that we are, talking about here. Let us continue to support Israel, the Jewish people, our brothers and sisters around the world, and let us do everything in our might, whether it's small or big, to support the people of God, the Jews, the people in Israel. Now we will have the information in the screen, how you can support what Rabbi Abraham Kaminer is doing, and be a part of it. It doesn't have to be big. We just all have to do something, and we can make a difference. We can have an impact in this world by joining together in unity to stand with Israel, to stand with the truth, to stand with the one and only true and living God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God bless you.